Hello again, and welcome back. My name is Sherry Marks. I'm the pastor of the Church of the Open Door here in Ukiah, California. And we're delighted to have you here with us today. The reading for today is from Paul's letter to the Romans. Greet Prisca and Aquila, my co-workers in Christ, who risked their necks for my life, to whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles. Greet also the church that gathers in their house. We are getting close to wrapping up this mini-series on women of the New Testament who played roles in the events that led to the spreading of Christianity throughout Europe and the Near East. I want to mention two women especially today, unrelated to each other except for their relationship to Paul. Both of these stories are fairly short because we really just don't know all that much about them. But I want to at least give you a little context for them. This context lies not so much in what they did, but how they were perceived by others around them. Paul had never yet been to Rome when he wrote his letter to the Romans. He was actively trying to raise funds for the journey when Emperor Claudius exiled all the Jews from Rome, Christian and non-Christian. Among those who were exiled were Prisca and Aquila, famous among the early church for their dedication to spreading the Christian faith and for the fact that wherever they lived, their home became a house church. Prisca and Aquila were a husband and wife team. Prisca is the wife. Her name is sometimes given as Priscilla. And this is the interesting thing here. In Paul's letters, or in other writings of the time with married couples, the husband's name is always given first. In this couple, Prisca is always mentioned first, suggesting that she is somehow the more important of the two. It's a small point, but an interesting one given the gender politics of their time. A few verses along in this letter to the Romans, Paul comes to another couple, Andronicus and Junia. Here, Andronicus is the husband and Junia is the wife. Greet Andronicus and Junia, my fellow Israelites, who were in prison with me. They are prominent among the apostles, and they were in Christ before I was. Nothing unusual here so far. Andronicus is listed first, just as common usage dictated at the time. For the first 1,100 years or so after Paul's letter, Junia was fully accepted as having been a woman and an apostle. It wasn't until the 13th century that one writer apparently decided that a woman just could not possibly have been any of these things, and changed her to a male by the simple act of adding an S to the end of her name, changing the feminine Junia to the masculine Junius. In time, others adopted this misogynistic opinion, and she is still classified as male by those churches that still refuse to accept women as full members of God's people. The majority of Bible scholars today, however, have no problem giving her her proper gender classification, even though it took 500 or 600 years for some of them to come around. And this is how our Bible history has come down to us, with huge gaps and manipulated answers. Unless you are taking the time to search, as I've been doing recently, chances are good that you've never heard of Prisca or Junia or Chloe or Phoebe or Eunice or any of the dozens of women who are just names that pop up once in a while in our Bibles. These are people who Paul himself describes as one who risked their lives for him, were imprisoned with him, ones who were prominent among the apostles. Why on earth do we not know these women? Why are their stories not told here? We know all about Silas and Timothy and Barnabas and Luke. What makes them different from the other list of Paul's co-workers? Could it be that they are men and therefore important by definition, while mere women are not? It makes me angry that such chunks of our Christian history are just erased. If we are reading the Bible for our history, then how do we decide to just ignore someone that Paul himself describes as prominent among the apostles? If Paul said that about a couple of men, would we have just decided to ignore them? If Prisca and Aquila risked their necks for Paul, I'd like to hear that story. I'd like to know more about these brave people. They are part of our biblical history too, you know. As it is, we are cheated out of so much by the fragility of some men's egos. Biblical history is a tricky thing, and yet we base all that we do when we gather as Christians on it. As long as it's discussing men, it seems to be fairly standard. It's only when we're discussing women that we have gaps. One of the stories that we hear and that we know and that we trust and that we believe and that we base what we do together on is the story that Jesus told those gathered with him when he called them together to share a last meal with him, leading into Passover. At that meal, Jesus took the bread that was there at the table and he said to them, "This bread is my body, given to you, broken to be given to you, so that you know I am always with you." And he likewise took a cup of wine that was at the table that night, and he said to them, "This cup is my blood, poured out and given for you, that you will know I am always with you. Always with you." And when we come together each week, we bless the bread and break it. And we break the bread and we share it. Everyone there shares in it because we eat it because Jesus told us to do so. And likewise, we take the cup, we bless it, and we drink from it. We share it because that's what Jesus told us to do so in his memory, remembering what he said to us, remembering that the bread and the cup are given by him because it is true. And we trust it. And we share the bread together, and everyone present shares in it. And we share the cup together, and everyone there in the room with them shares it together. And we remember we remember what Jesus said to us, that this is the cup of my blood given for your forgiveness, given for to make you whole. This is the bread of my body, given to you, broken and given to you, so that we may all be one, and we always will be. And so we likewise come together here, and we share this broken bread, and we share the cup, and we share Jesus' promise that he is in us and with us and always will be. So thank you for being with us today. Thank you for joining us. Take what you've been given here today, both in the Word and in the bread and cup. Make them part of yourself and carry them out with you this week and share them with everyone you come in contact with. So go in the peace and the love of Christ and share with all.
Founded on love.